Welcome to Season 4 of My Wife the Dietitian, a fun, evidence-based weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy living. Today we're talking about everyone's favorite topic, constipation. In particular, traveler's constipation. We'll give you some advice on how to deal with this common yet frustrating situation. Stay with us. Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Rob.
How are you?
I have a question for you.
Oh, what's a good one?
It's a little personal, I guess.
Oh, those are fun.
Have you ever had traveler's constipation?
I don't know what that means, but probably.
What do you think it means?
It means that you don't like going in the bathroom at the gas station, so you hold on to it.
The not my toilet syndrome?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Because definitely. I think that's pretty common. Because you travel and you're just like, oh no, it's out of my routine. I don't feel comfortable going in there. Or,
totally. Unfamiliar toilet, unfamiliar surroundings.
Unfamiliar trees.
If you're camping, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Right?
Wow, this is really jumping right in there, eh?
Did I ever tell you that story about the driving range?
Oh, no.
So years ago when I was younger, I'd go to the driving range sometimes with my friends. And if you've never been to a driving range, it's usually just like a giant field and a bunch of little stations where you can hit your golf balls from.
Right.
Right. So we're at this driving range, and it happened to be like there was like a forest kind of behind it, or a sort of bunch of bushes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no amenities. There's no like bathrooms anywhere around. So
no porta potty.
No porta potty. So all of a sudden, like, lunch hits bottom, and it's like, oh man, like I gotta go like now. And I'm looking around, and like there's nothing except these bushes behind me. So I'm like, okay, that's where I'm going, right? Oh. So I dive into the bushes, and it's like, it's all good. It's like, okay, there we go. And then this group of people come and of course, and set up like right in front of me. There's like 8 of them. It's like a whole family.
Funny.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so like, I'm in the bush. And then it's like, well, I got to come out. So all of a sudden, I'm just like, well, I'm coming out.
I emerge from the
emerged from the bushes, and they just kind of look at me like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, you don't want to know. You know, they just think I'm like just some like creepy guy like hiding in the bushes or something.
You should have had a golf ball in your hand going, there it is.
I know. I wasn't thinking that when I went into the bushes. But anyway, yeah, there's some funny stories around bathroom requirements.
Absolutely.
So I can see why people have issues when it comes to that. Travel. What do you call it? Traveler's constipation.
Well, yeah. And especially if you're like traveling like on a plane, like through time zones, that can really mess with you.
I don't want to go into the airport bathroom. You always have to go right before the plane leaves, but then you don't want to go because you don't want to miss the plane.
Right.
Right.
Well, and that's
and
part of it.
And then you get on the plane. I'm like, well, I don't want to go on the plane.
I know.
There's so many dilemmas around that.
There is. It really is. And it's partly because the gut is a creature of habit, and the nerves of the gut remember. The nerves of the gut remember what kind of food, what time we eat, how much we move around, how much water we drink.
Mm-hmm. And
when we travel, we have a lot on our mind, right?
Absolutely.
And so, you're thinking about, what's my next stop? Are we going to get a cab? Did I lock the house? Did I pack my book? All the things that are on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but we forget that our gut travels with us.
Right.
And suddenly we're torn from our familiar routine.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see that pretty easily.
Yeah. And it's like the disconnect, like the nerves are
programmed?
Yeah, there's a disconnect from the nerves and the muscles of the gut, and they're no longer working towards the same goal.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can have some control, right? So it's like, not my toilet syndrome. I don't want to go right now. And then you hold it, and then that can mess with your whole rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about this before, but 10 to 20% of the people in the US are constipated. And it can be a temporary thing like the travel,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be like, so temporary could be when you're traveling or illness or periods of stress. And then if it's more chronic, then that could be, it's important to go see your doctor. Basically, 2.5 million people go see their doctor about constipation every year in the US.
Wow.
So it's a big problem.
Yeah, for sure. And it can lead to all sorts of things if you're not taking the trash out, it starts to build up and then all sorts of things happen, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So, and we know that, and we've talked about this before, about 95% of people do not get the amount of fiber that we need every day.
Right.
So that depends on the person, but it's between 20 to 30 grams of fiber every day. A lot of it is we're just not eating, the vegetables and fruits and whole grains.
Or we're following a crazy trending sort of fiber-free diet.
Well, maybe, but also when you're traveling, you're eating travel food.
Totally.
The prepackaged food, the strange airplane meals, like if you're traveling on a plane, might be food that you're not really used to, might have unfamiliar spices when you're abroad somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably drinking less because of, I don't want to have to get up and go pee all the time.
Right, exactly.
And you actually should be drinking more to help with your bowels and just to help with hydration, because being in a plane, it actually can be really dehydrating.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Because in the plane, it's just, and you kind of can tell that it's dehydrating on the plane, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's some criteria to identify constipation. So you can ask yourself if you have some of these issues. And a lot of people do get traveler's constipation because of all these factors that we just discussed. Not my own toilet, possibly not enough fluid, different foods, out of routine. Our gut gets jet lag. So our gut can actually, because we have circadian rhythm, and our gut is on that has a circadian rhythm too. So if we're flying into a different time zone, this can really affect our bowel movements. So the following criteria could be bowel movements less than 3 times a week.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
Which is actually pretty common. I see that quite a lot in different clients.
Yeah.
But it can worsen on travel. Another criteria is hard stools. So a quarter of the time, like every 4th time, it's quite hard, almost like pellets.
Right.
So
I
like
see.
it could be, pellet form. There's something called a Bristol stool chart. They use that in the health system to identify what type of stool someone is having, because then that helps identify what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't get into that right now, but pellets are just like it says.
Yeah, it's hard. And obviously there's something that's, if it's not flowing smoothly, then there's a problem.
Yeah. And you've seen like deer poo or deer pellets or rabbit pellets, kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
The other one criteria is difficult or impossible to pass the stool.
That's pretty uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. And a lot of times it's not about how often you're going, but it's how difficult it is when you're in the washroom.
Right.
And the time spent on the toilet. So ideally you're having like it's a nice kind of private, relaxing time. But if you're constipated, it's anything but that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The other criteria is you're not satisfied. You don't get that satisfied feeling after. So you're not emptying completely.
Right.
So you kind of feel like you have to leave and you're not quite done.
Yeah.
That's very common too.
Oh, crazy.
So it all stems from that disconnect from the nerves and the muscle of the gut. So many times our digestion and the transportation of the food through a GI tract is at a normal speed, until the very end of the intestine, and there's then a disagreement if the contents need to be expelled right away or held in a little bit longer.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Huh.
Because you can control that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not in a familiar environment, or you want to get on the plane and you don't have to, spend the time in the toilet in the airport. So you're shutting yourself down.
Yeah. You're creating your own constipation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it can definitely be a problem. So what can we do about it?
Well, routine is ideal, but if you're traveling, then your routine kind of goes out the window. So in that case, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously nutrition helps, but that's not an in the moment kind of thing. Well, maybe there's some foods and stuff you can eat to make you can take laxatives and stuff if you need to, but maybe like to control when things happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We know that with constipation, the cause can be dehydration. It can be the poor diet. It can be medications that you're taking. A lot of people have pelvic floor dysfunction. So that's kind of like if you think of, you've got the plumbing and then you've got the material going through the pipes in kind of that sense, right? So
right.
The food and the fluid are the material going through the pipes, and the plumbing is like the pelvic floor. So if there's some dysfunction with the pelvic floor and the nerves and the anatomy, then that can affect how well you're evacuating and having a bowel movement.
Right. Okay.
But also, obviously, a cause can be not the best diet.
Yeah, like that's more of a long-term side effect of a bad diet, right?
Yeah. And I mean, someone who has a great diet can still have traveler's constipation.
Mm-hmm. And I guess there's certain things, like if you have a certain meal, then maybe it'll affect you the next day, sort of thing, right? As far as your bowel abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, stress is a big, with IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, stress can really cause dysfunction of how the nerves are functioning, and then the peristalsis of our bowel movements. So that can affect constipation for sure.
Right. Okay.
And there's something to say about, there's a 3-day rule. So we have 3 parts to the colon or the large intestine. There's the ascending, the one that goes up, the transverse that goes over, and the descending. And so when you go on the toilet, you technically are just emptying one
section.
Yes.
Oh,
the
interesting.
Descending.
Okay.
So if you have a strong laxative, say you've ever had to have a colonoscopy and had that like really strong, like clear you completely out.
Right.
Then you might actually empty all 3 sections of your ascending, transverse, and descending colon. And what happens then? Like, that's not great, because then you might be waiting the next day to go and there's nothing coming.
Oh, right.
So it might take 3 days to fill up all 3 sections again.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's just another thing to be aware of. But to kind of, for travelers, like if you are worried about having constipation, definitely trying to bump up your fluid intake. So try to drink a little bit more, maybe even a day or 2 before. That can help. And then also you could make sure you're getting fiber. Like the fiber is such a key part of how your bowel works. So you've got like high fiber foods. We've talked about soluble and insoluble fiber and how they work differently, but a lot of foods have both. And Mother Nature has packaged a lot of fruit and vegetables in the insoluble fiber is like the peel, and the flesh is the soluble fiber.
Right. Okay.
So you've got like the peel actually increases the transit of the stool and makes you have the bowel movement go through. And the flesh, the soluble fiber, helps bulk up the stool and make it soft and easier and smoother to go through. So if you don't have enough fluid, but you've got lots of fiber, what can happen?
Well, it'll be too hard.
Yeah, it's like cement,
yeah,
right?
Or it's like your pancake mix, if it's not enough fluid in there. It's not everybody makes concrete and cement, so pancakes might be a better way to describe things.
For sure. Yeah.
It's just too hard and crumbly.
Right. So you need enough fluid to help that soluble fiber to work. And then the insoluble fiber is the roughage. So the seeds, the skins, the peels, those things can help kind of irritate the bowel and help you expel the stool.
Mm-hmm. And it helps clean the colon and all the internal parts, right? Like the roughage, kind of like, I remember in one of their episodes, we sort of discussed that function as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's exactly what happens. And some people can take, like, if there's no little compartment for your dried apricots or your prunes, you could take a tablet or powdered form of psyllium seed husks.
Okay.
So these are a way to draw more water into the gut to make the stool more soft and smooth.
Okay. Interesting.
So a lot of people use those. Kiwis are amazing. Like 2 kiwis a day gives you a lot of good fiber. And it actually, there's an enzyme in kiwi called actinidin. So it's actinidin. Actinidin.
They like to use big words, right?
That's an enzyme in kiwi, and that can possibly help with digestion. What are some other good high fiber foods, Rob?
Beans.
Yeah,
right?
Beans, baked beans. That's exactly right. Yeah.
We got to throw the beans in there somehow.
Got to throw the beans.
Always.
Yeah. I mean, depending on, how you tolerate it. So if you have a lot of gas, flatulence, bloating, pain, you might not want beans before you get on the plane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But bran muffin, avocado, apples with peel, dates, dried apricots, peas. These are all foods that have a good amount of fiber.
Leafy greens too?
Yeah, leafy greens. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and when you're traveling, you're probably having a lot of packaged foods. You might not have a lot of fresh salads or fresh vegetables and fruits. Mm-hmm. So if you can seek those out, that would be great to help prevent that traveler's constipation.
Perfect.
Also, the fiber supplement, as I mentioned, coffee can be, or any warm beverage can get things moving, but coffee has if there's caffeine in it, that can be a little bit of a stimulant to your bowel.
That works for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the morning, that could be something that can help with the bowel movement. Mm-hmm. Maybe not coffee throughout the day, because then that can get things, you're stimulating your bowel too much and then you're holding it and you don't want to go.
Yeah.
So, think about this in moderation. Mm-hmm. And definitely movement, exercise, that can help with intestinal motility, just to move your body. Maybe when you were on the golf course, you were moving, and then that's why you had to go.
I was swinging too hard.
Yeah. Sometimes I talk to athletes that are runners, and when they're running, like they get to a point and they're just like, oh my God, I have to go. And part of it is this, the stimulation and the peristalsis of the intestine.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are a few things. Also magnesium. I mean, we take that at night, the gentle one that just gives you a little bit extra magnesium, the magnesium bisglycinate. But there's different forms of magnesium. I think we'll do a whole episode on magnesium because there's some that are used as laxatives because you barely absorb any. So basically, it creates this this laxative effect.
Right. Okay.
The kind we use, you pretty much absorb, and it just helps relax you. Mm-hmm. Also, limiting those white breads, like the really carb-heavy white grain, like the refined white products. Like if you're eating a ton of crackers, white bread, white everything, that's what happens when you're traveling too, because a lot of things are on buns or sandwiches that are white bread.
Right.
And so if you're used to having whole grain or whole wheat or sprouted grain or seedy breads, and then all of a sudden you're just eating white everything, that can really play havoc with your bowels and with the material running through your to make a good stool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and herbal tea, some herbal teas can really help. And definitely yoga, or you can even rub your belly, massage your belly. This can help with stimulating that to get the bowels working kind of on more your time frame.
Right.
And I think in another episode, we'll do a whole thing on different laxatives, stool softeners, different types of kind of medical management of constipation.
Right.
But today is more just the lifestyle and the nutrition and ways to
manage it,
it with your just first line of defense, like your diet and fluids and movement.
Like preventative almost.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's Traveler's Constipation. Do you have any questions?
Do I have any questions? Yeah, you in the back there? Question?
Right.
No, I think we covered it all. I think most people are probably, now that we've described it, most people are probably like, oh yeah, no, I get that. But it's good to understand sort of that it is preventable, and it's, think about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Anticipate that might happen so you can prevent it.
Make a smoothie that's loaded with, like, you got, your ground flax seeds, your hemp hearts, your wheat bran or oat bran, oatmeal, yogurt.
All those
That's
things.
the other thing. We didn't even talk about probiotics and, the prebiotics, but we've talked about that on other shows, and we'll put that in the show notes. So, we could talk forever about this, but hopefully that gives a sense of, some quick tips for people that are traveling and that want to prevent constipation.
Very good. Thanks for sharing that. If you want to learn more, get more great tips, check out our website. There's a free newsletter on there. It's a weekly newsletter. It's free to join. Lots of great tips, recipes, just amazing information, source of information. I've also got a blog on the website you can refer to as well. Lots of great articles there. The address for the website is mywifethedietitian.com. You can also send us your questions. We love answering listener questions on the show. You can email those questions to mywifetherd@gmail.com. You can also find us online. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us there as well. If you like the show, let us know. Love hearing your feedback, your comments, your ideas, your recipes, all that stuff. It's super interesting for us, and we'd love to hear what you're thinking. You can rate and review the show. Like I said, you can send us your comments. You can email us. You can reach out to us through our social media pages. They're all great ways to get feedback to us. And if you like the show, maybe your friends will too. So share with your friends. It's super helpful for us. And like I said, maybe your friend will enjoy hearing a new show as well. So that is it for this episode. Thanks for joining us. We will be back on Wednesday with Nutrition Nuggets. So until then, have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife, the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.